Hey guys, episode 2 already. Seems like I just left you guys because I did. Um, that went pretty quick, and I'm still a little wide awake here, so I figured why not? Let's do another one. Let's do another one. That was kind of fun. Um, really unorganized, but a lot of fun, at least for me. So let's go ahead and draw something else, but I don't know what we should draw. So um, why don't I do my go-to so you guys can kind of see what I typically doodle on the margins of my note paper when I'm sitting in uh, uh, someplace like church or wherever, and I just need something to occupy my mind. Um, so one of the ones I draw a lot are eyes, which actually you would think I'd be better at this since I'm like self-admitting to drawing eyes quite a bit. But I guess that was mostly just recently that I just started drawing the eyes here. These are kind of cartoony, but so eyes, they have so you got to think about the whole eye, I guess, when you draw them. So your eye would kind of be, it's round in the back, so you kind of almost see it when you look at a person's eye, because you've got the eyelid that kind of comes up here. Mostly you see it here and here, and then the eyelashes come from out of there and like this. They're all different lengths or whatever. So if you're, especially like a female eye, especially if you're drawing that, you would have kind of maybe do that a little heavier. Male eyes, you don't show that as much. At least, I guess if you're drawing more of a cartoony look, if you're doing realism, obviously you do whatever is in front of you. You try to get it as true to your subject matter as possible. So we got the iris right here. So the iris takes up most of the eye, I think. And then we got I guess this pupil. Yeah, pupil, iris. I don't remember the names of the stuff. I need to go back to anatomy class, I guess. There's always a shine like right there. Right there. So this is the tear duct, right? And it's kind of, I don't know, there's like your glands in there. So I always try and draw like the roundness of the eye. And again, you got more, your eyelashes kind of come in at angles here, depending on, I guess, what direction it's coming out. It's going to come out here, then start to straighten out there. It depends on when they're looking, though, really. So we're just drawing it in the middle of the eye. And the irises kind of have like those. If you really look at them close, they've got those striations, or it almost kind of looks gross if you ever look at eye like real close, like real zoomed in. It's got some like thready kind of something. It's still real pretty, but it's almost, like I said, it's almost kind of gross. And it depends on the shine, like what they're looking at. So maybe there's a light there or something, and then there's always kind of a shadow here, like underneath, just a little bit. That's way too much of a shadow, but you get the idea. And then the nose would be here, and then we have, depending on if it's male or female, your eyebrow. I try and break things into shapes when I'm drawing really quickly like this. So that's an eye, right? So the nose would start there, and then there's the bridge of your nose, go down to something else, and then you have kind of your, especially if you're sleepy, maybe. Oh, now he looks real tired, right? They look real. Let's make the eyelids a little lower, make them real tired. Maybe this would come up a little bit in too. So now they're real tired, right? So that's something I draw a lot. I doodle. It's an easy thing for me to remember. One of the things that I don't often do is draw two eyes together, because one of the hardest things for me, at least, is getting those eyes in the right position. It's a lot easier online because you can kind of shift it and move around, but I'll show you what I mean here. So I'm going to draw a face. There's a method here, and I don't remember what it's called, but you basically draw, let's start out with a method that I'm about to tell you, because I'm going to tell you the wrong thing. You basically draw a circle, or the best thing is circle. Just keep going around. You get a better circle if you just keep going around. It looks better and better every time you go around, because you kind of start to darken at the spots that would be there. So So you draw a circle with like an oval, and that's supposed to be like the cranial mass, I think is what they call it. So if you think about a head from the front, right, this is a real round. Again, look at that. It looks awful at first, but then it still looks pretty bad. But as you go around, you start to get more of a circular circle. So when you're drawing a face, so if you think about the circle, it's kind of gets cut off like right there and right there. Let's get rid of those lines and then get rid of that. So you end up with this section here, kind of like that, and then your jaw comes down, right, like this. I think this is called the Loomis method. Don't quote me on that. It's not a test. So you have that. You kind of find your center point. And what they do is they split it into thirds. So you think about it here. And I'm drawing a side view here. So that'd be like another third. You kind of carry that line. And then you come down here, and this is like your chin. I think this is supposed to come up here. Your ear would be like right here. And then your center line for your face is like right here, right? So that's your Loomis method, and your neck would kind of be maybe here. Depends on if it's a guy or a girl. If you're gonna have you'd probably have more of a slender neck if it's a girl. Same thing with ears with people. Everybody's got different ears, smaller ears that are attached down here, or ears that have more of a lobe there. And there's like something like that with the ears. Anyways, this is pretty rough. So, and then the nose would be somewhere in here. Again, guys, breaking this into shapes for me helps. So you'll see me kind of do things pretty rough, and then I'll come back and kind of refine them a little bit. But I'm trying to make my drawings pretty quickly so we can get through a lot of stuff. And I can show you guys what I'm talking about, and you guys aren't sitting here watching me spend 4 hours shading an upper lip, as Napoleon would say. And so you kind of have a dip in there where the eye would be, and then your forehead here, and then your hairline usually comes there. There's maybe a widow's peak or something. So we've got let's make him like a military cut, right? Bring it around. That's our military cut, and he's very serious. The bottom of his lip, he's got this, and he's got a pretty defined jaw. You always see nostrils too, so they're always visible. It seems like always. This is pretty bad. I'll go back and erase that later. Actually, let's do that. Let's get rid of that now. Let's forget about that. We'll do the eyes first. So one of the things I always start with is tear duct. It kind of comes like here. And then, our iris is here, pupil. So where it gets real tricky, though, is trying to draw that other eye. I have a heck of a time, and this is, again, why I'm here. Draw better, improve my drawing. So the eye starts to kind of wrap around where you would almost see it wrapped around here, but it almost curves out like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Like that, and then you have your eyelashes, and again, think about the eyes like rounded, so like there's rounded here. So when you think about like that kind of thing that happens, you have kind of what is it like when you're tired? Those bags in your eyes. It's not the bags, I guess, are more here, but there's that kind of recess that kind of happens that comes over to your cheekbone where it's kind of connected, right? So your cheekbone would be like maybe here. This is like really overemphasizing that area, but there's that line that comes through there that kind of almost connects the cheekbone. But you see, like if you look at the eyes, they're kind of off. This is really grainy because it's my construction pencil, but you'd probably be able to see it if I flipped it a little bit easier. Let's fill in the nose a little bit more. So again, let's do that. Give him. You usually always see. So a lot of times, you really kind of see this part, and the rest of it's not as pronounced. I'll try and draw that, and then you have this. I don't know what that's called there. I think I heard it called an embouchure before, but I don't think that is right at all. That was back in high school, and I guarantee I'm remembering that incorrectly because My memory's not that great. Let's give him a little smirk here. A little lip, just the bottom of the lip, and there's like that little space indent there. Maybe he's got that little butt chin thing going on. And the nose here, maybe he's got a little bump on the nose there that kind of comes out. So you get the idea. And there's like some shading there, and then maybe if he's got the smile, he's got a dimple. Let's give him a dimple. All right, let's give him some eyebrows. Eyelashes. Come on, Josh. Remember the name of the parts. All right. Anyways, so we're looking at this, and it's easier to see how terrible this is if I went ahead and flipped it. So let's go ahead and see if I remember how to flip this here. Yeah, so you see the eyes are kind of like, this one's almost too high. When you flip it, it's like a technique that helps you kind of realize where things are going off the rails a little bit. So this whole thing I would almost probably shift up to more to here. The eye I would shift up maybe to like right here and here. I mean, there's lots of things I would do. The cheek seems a little, like maybe start that there, tuck that in, and then maybe this comes up a little more. But you get the idea. It's a good tool to kind of try and fix it, flip it from one side to the other. You tend to notice your mistakes as you flip. It's something about seeing it flip that helps. I almost would maybe, I don't know. This is getting pretty messy. So the ear's almost too small, I feel like. Usually the ear starts at the top of the eyebrow line. So the ear probably would start here and end at the nose. So it would probably be more like this. This is so messy. This looks like Batman over here, doesn't it? Let's make Batman. Batman always has like one side of the nose in shadow, I feel like. Like that. He's never happy. He's always mad. A good way to show your gritted teeth in a cartoon there is to go in that little thing there. What are you doing? He's got real sharp angular. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm drawing him from sort of memory. Mostly in shadow, one side of his face, because it's in dark, right? He's going to have some veins there. Gosh, that's pretty bad. Anyways, that's kind of stuff I like to normally kind of doodle around, but it's really hard because if you don't have something to look at, to compare to, it's really hard to draw by memory. Even when you have things like the Loomis method, like I mentioned, where you do start with your circle and you have your side piece here. So the skinnier, the fatter this is, the more your person is going to be looking in one direction. Or to that direction, and then you can change this line here to change how their vantage point, where they're looking. So this guy's like kind of looking up this way. And then the skinnier it is, the less that they are looking in a different direction. So again, straight on would be here. There's your top of that's like your hairline here is where that line is. Remember, it's broken into thirds, so you kind of have this boxy thing. I don't know why you can't just draw the box of the Loomis method when you're looking at the front. I guess you could probably do that. I think probably good artists don't even probably use this. They just know the proportions off the top of their head without having to refer back to this stuff. Again, shapes. Always go back to the shapes. Simple shapes. Guys always have bigger eyebrows too, I think. And they're always kind of ducked in a little bit more. Their eyes aren't as rounded. I like to draw their eyes at least less rounded. It looks more masculine when it's more angular, I think. Draw that iris, the pupil, that whole thing. Again, maybe they're kind of angry, right? They kind of have that really strong jaw, or at least, again, it depends on your source material. That's not always true. The ear, you don't see much of the ear on the front view. You see maybe the side, maybe a little bit down here, but down here, and you'll see some of this. Again, guys, I'm really bad at hair, so I don't know. I don't know what it should look like. So maybe he's got like a little part here. He's got that almost Captain America part. It's an easy way to kind of really how much you put their eyelid close. You draw the eye, and then you figure out where you want that eyelid to be to kind of make them like angry or sad or surprised or whatever. This is really bad. Look at that. Look how the eyes are not quite in the right place. But if I were doing this, I would definitely tweak this a lot more to make sure that this stuff lines up. And that's the nice thing about drawing on a computer, is that you really can kind of tweak this stuff to your heart's content. For example, let's show you. So I could take that and I could just scoot that up a little bit if I didn't like where that sat. Or if I'm like, hey, I don't like that at all, I think that's horrible, I can just take that out and draw it again. Give him another like kind of mean, not happy look to him, right? Angling that top thing there. The guy's eyebrows always feel like are closer to the eyes than the women are. This is a pretty big nose, but that's okay, guys. Everybody's got a different nose. That's okay. It's dark through here too, because that's like kind of it recesses there. So the nose comes up. Your shine would be here, depending on your light source too. So if our light source is over here, our shadows are going to be coming much deeper over this way. We would notice them way more. The cheeks, like areas that rise up, you would notice a little bit more. This kind of trails to the side, right? Because the head curves around over here and over here. So you're going to get some shadow, not as much there. And then the lips I kind of suggest with the guys. You draw too much lips on guys, it tends to look very female. It's just the cartoony part of it. But you get it. You get it. You guys get it. You're smart. You get it. Gosh, that's not great either, but we'll get better. That nose is so big. Why did I make it so big? I'll make the nose smaller. Get rid of some of the constructor lines here too. I don't need all that. I always kind of draw an eyebrow, at least mentally there, or an eyebrow, a triangle. Yeah, I always draw eyebrows. I always try and draw a triangle. Again, guys, your nostrils are pretty much always visible unless you're like at an extreme down angle. I feel like people are always going to see it. This is even worse, isn't it? Anyways, you get the idea. You get the idea. You're going to have some shadow cast by the edge of the nose there. And then even depending, you might have shadows underneath a little bit here. like I said, I'm terrible with hair. Here's my trick for hair, guys. I do like this, this, and then kind of connect it a little bit there to almost make it look like there's a shine. That's my trick. All hair, everywhere. Whenever I draw hair, that's what I do. So I try and draw it in the direction I think the hair would go, like this. So the hair is going to be like that. It's going to be dark over here. Shine. Would have more over here, because if I'm saying my light source is from this side, you would have way more shine, but my hair skills are awful. They are atrocious. So I just keep kind of filling that in and just get real dark. And then I give myself some areas of highlight. Again, fill that in, try and go the direction, and then just give it a little highlight. And that's my hair. Wow, this looks awful. It looks so bad. That's why I'm here. This is why I am here. Try and give him. This is a lot harder on the computer too, I feel like, to do this. Yeah, those are pretty awful. Notice how that angle comes down here, and this one's kind of like more like this. They're not the same kind of angle. Gosh, that's terrible. Really put myself out there, guys. I hate releasing anything that I'm not proud of, and I am not proud of anything that I've drawn here yet. But and even if I am proud of something, I look at it like the next day and I'm like, what was I thinking? That was awful. I guess you would see more of the ears here. Again, those ears have to be the same height and same stop area. My trick for the ears is to line them up at the top of the eyebrows and like basically the bottom of the nose here. So top of the eyebrows, bottom of the nose. Anyways, telling you guys my tricks as if these are good tricks. They're not good tricks. This is not going to help you improve. If you want to improve, you got to practice and you got to pay attention to your course material, not course material, your why can't I think? Your reference image. Your reference image. Get an image, draw it, and pay attention to where things are. Stuff like that. You'll be fine.